Go for
All
it.
right. Darkest greetings, horror, sci-fi, and Steven Spielberg fans. Ha ha. We're here. This is Jackson from Horror, Sci-Fi, and Beyond. And you might realize that Drew is not here this week to discuss a Spielberg film of all things. But
Welcome.
our heart goes out to him. He's had a death in the family, and he's spending time with his family, taking a little time off from the podcast, which is good.
Yeah.
But tonight, I am joined by, once again, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Eric White.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Oh,
Mm.
we're talking about Spielberg. Like,
Yeah, we
the,
don't. I
the,
mean, we talk about Spielberg a lot, but we haven't done a lot of reviews of Spielberg movies on this
I
podcast.
can think of, let's see, y'all did,
The Last Crusade. We did Last Crusade.
we did Last Crusade. I know y'all did one. Oh, Drew and Robin did a Jurassic Park episode, but we weren't on that one.
Okay.
So,
Well, maybe just ones. We were only included in one, then I guess.
yeah. So it's funny to be here talking about basically the patron saint of the podcast and not having
100%.
Drew here to go on about it.
We do
In
have.
fact, I'm not even
We
sure.
do.
Has Drew seen this movie?
He said I talked to him briefly yesterday. He said he was going to watch it for the first time yesterday evening. So
Which
that would have
is
been his first time ever
wild.
seeing it. Yeah.
Wild. The movie, of course, that we're talking about, because we've got Disclosure Day coming up in just a few days
Mm-hmm.
after this drops. But we're going to talk about another, I think, essential sci-fi film by Steven Spielberg, which is 2002's Minority Report,
Yeah. It is
starring
certainly one of
Tom
his better
Cruise.
movies in the 2000s, at least.
Yeah, and we'll get into that.
Mm.
But first of all, I forgot to look up the IMDb plot synopsis because I know that's a
Oh.
tradition we're supposed to do. So, did you have anything you wanted to talk about before we got into Minority Report, though?
Oh, as far as like Spielberg or like just in general?
Yeah, just like in general, like just chit chat at the top of the show, like we
Oh,
do
of course, yeah.
sometimes.
I've been reading the Game of Thrones books. I say reading. I'm listening to the audiobooks of them. I'm on the third one
Okay.
now. Been thoroughly enjoying them for the most part. Although they are like the TV series is a pretty faithful adaptation of it. Like there's a little bits here and there, but like most of the stuff is like on the screen.
It diverges on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the first like three, I think I read 4.5 of those books, and I got halfway through Dance with Dragons, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the way that Martin writes that just, I don't know, it just does not work for me. He goes off on these long tangents about like family histories
So
and
long. Yeah.
sigils and all of this stuff, and I'm just like, I can't do this, man.
Yeah. It's a lot of information, a lot of
So,
backstory. Yeah.
yeah.
I've been enjoying them for the most part, but there is like long diatribes that I check out on. But it's nice listening to them as audiobooks, because then I can just zone out and not have to worry about it too much.
Right.
I could see how it would be tedious if I was actually reading them though. So, but enjoying them for the most part. Gearing up for this new House of Dragons show. We'll see how this third season is. Second season was fine.
I stopped watching
What about
after
you?
the first season.
I think the second season's better, but
maybe I just didn't care enough to go on. I do love A Night
No,
of the
that's
Seven
fair.
Kingdoms, though. That show
Same.
rules. So HBO related, I finished the final season of Euphoria, which is not the type of thing we normally talk about on this show because it's not horror, sci-fi, or beyond. It's just like a character, like crime drama or whatever. And I really like
teen drama for the first season.
First 2 seasons are set in high school. This third season, because there was a 4-year gap in between seasons 2 and 3. So now they're all in their 20s and living their lives, separately. And that's part of the problem, because they don't actually manage to wrap up any of the character arcs in a satisfying way. But, and this is a big one, and so spoilers for Euphoria season 3, episode
Oh.
7. Because the most notorious character on that show, Nate Jacobs, played by Jacob
Mhm.
Elordi,
Mhm.
meets his end, and it is
Shocking.
it is legendary. The scene is fantastic
Oh
because
man.
he dies because he pissed off the wrong guy and like owed this
Mhm.
guy a bunch of money. So the guy put him put him in a coffin in the like buried him alive with just like an
Oh my
air
gosh.
pipe. And the whole thing was, he's leaning on Sydney Sweeney's character to get him the money, and that's the only way he's
Uh-huh.
gonna dig up Nate. Well, while Nate's in the coffin, he's banging on the lid and he's trying to get attention, trying to get somebody to hear him down there. So a
Mhm.
rattlesnake crawls down the pipe
Oh my god.
and bites him to death.
Oh my gosh.
And it is truly like that scene scarred me because I don't have like a phobia of snakes or anything like that. Like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna go up and pet one, but
Sure, of course.
I don't think about them at all until I saw this scene and he's trapped in a coffin with a rattlesnake. And I swear it has been harder going to sleep at night after seeing that.
Mm.
But anyway, I don't know. I just spoiled like a whole character arc of Euphoria. But you know what? You don't have to watch the show. It's not that
That's
great.
true.
The first season is really good. Second season,
I like the
less
first
good.
season. Mhm.
And
Just the
third season,
slow decline.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, third season almost not good at all.
Except for this one scene.
Except for this one scene, which is amazing. So anyway, do we have anything else, or do we want to get into Minority Report?
I think we can get into Minority Report. I don't really have anything else I've been binging on. I guess unless we want to talk about Disclosure Day at all coming up. And if there's
I
anything, are
mean,
you looking forward to it?
I guess because it's Spielberg, and I'm always interested
Yeah.
in what he's doing, except for a few times where I've just never seen I've never seen the BFG or 1010.
Yeah.
But I'm usually interested, and always with him doing sci-fi because I think sci-fi is maybe his strongest genre overall.
Yeah.
Because if you think about all the things, like even Jurassic Park is still sci-fi. So
Mhm.
you put this movie and AI and Jurassic Park and Close Encounters and ET and like he is
Yeah.
an excellent sci-fi director. So Disclosure Day, I still think the title's bad. I'm not crazy about the trailer, but
Yeah.
it's Spielberg doing sci-fi. So
That's true. I am pleased. I read some early or like snippets of early reviews, and like some of them say it's Spielberg's weirdest movie that he's ever made, which intrigues me. And then it may be his best movie in like 20 years, which also intrigues me. And I'm like, okay,
okay,
because that would put it around, that would put around Minority Report was around like the last time he was making stuff of this caliber, at least.
I
So
mean, we'll get into it
maybe.
as we go because this era of Spielberg's output is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyway, so here is the plot summary of Minority Report according to the Internet Movie Database. The chief of police unit that can accurately predict and prevent crimes goes on the run after he's accused of a future murder himself. Dum
Oh.
dum.
Yeah.
Okay, Jad, what's coming? Double homicide, one male, one female. Killer's male, white 40s.
Set up a perimeter and tell them we're en route. I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks.
Give the man his hat.
The future can be seen.
All we have to run on are the images that they produce.
We see what they see.
There hasn't been a murder in 6 years. There's nothing wrong with the system. It is
Perfect, I agree.
Murder can be stopped.
Tell me exactly what it is you're looking for.
Flaws. You ever get any false positives?
We are arresting individuals who have broken no law.
But they will.
The fact that you prevent it from happening doesn't change the fact that it was going to happen.
The system can't be wrong.
You say something, Chief?
No.
You're in a lot of trouble, John. I have a warrant in my pocket that says murder.
Don't run.
You don't have to chase me.
From 20th Century Fox
He set me up. He set me up.
and DreamWorks Pictures.
Who's the victim? I've never heard of him, but I'm supposed to kill him in less than 36 hours.
He's coming here to get her.
Tom Cruise
I need your help. If you contain information, I need to know how to get at it.
in a Steven Spielberg film.
I have to know. I have to find out what happened in my life. You tell me, who was it that set this up?
I don't know.
How about now?
On June 21st, everybody runs.
No, Todd!
Minority Report.
All right. So Minority Report. Why don't you just give me your just briefest thoughts on it up top?
So I mean, I was a Spielberg fan when this movie came out. Like,
Right.
I saw Jurassic Park. Like I'd been through
Mhm.
the '90s. I'd seen all the output there. I had watched AI like right before this because AI came out like the year before, and like
2 years. 2 years.
yeah,
'Cause
and I
AI
was
is
a little.
2000, right?
I think it's 2001, isn't it? I can't remember.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, like I remember being a little perplexed by that movie. I think I went back and like have a newfound kind of love for that movie, but at the time I was like, I don't get this. This doesn't.
It's a
Feels like
tough
it's-
one
Yeah.
on first watch. Yeah.
So like I saw this movie in theaters. I was excited for it. Really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's aged as well on this past watch than it was when I first saw it, or I've seen it probably, I don't know, 10 times over the past few years.
Interesting.
But yeah, I've got a few qualms with like the opening, the start of the movie, but overall, you know what? It's a nice like fun time. It gets dark at times. Like this movie like
yeah.
balances sort of like its darkness and its light-hearted moments pretty well.
Mhm.
I don't know. This seems like Pete Spielberg in a lot of ways. Like this is like him having fun. He wasn't even supposed to direct this movie. Jan de Bont of Speed fame was going to direct this movie originally.
Jan de Bont. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he took it over whenever they had some souring over a movie that I think he directed and Spielberg was producer on, and they were just like they parted ways. And so Spielberg picked this up after AI was wrapped. And I don't know. I think this was for the longest time like one of my favorite Spielberg movies. I don't know. It holds up pretty well. I mean, it's nice because it's not just like a sci-fi movie. You get sort of this sort of like hard-boiled like film noir, like detective novel
Right.
sort of thing going on too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
I think that I spent a lot of years underrating this movie because I watched it yesterday, and I've seen it probably not as many times as you have over the years, probably 4 or 5 times though in the past 24 years. I saw it when it came out, of course, in 2002, and I went back and I checked my like letterbox ratings and where I had it ranked in Spielberg's output, and I had it rated at like 3.5 stars, and it was like right in the middle of the pack for Spielberg. And I was like, I don't think that's true anymore. Having watched it again, I think this one's like this is like top 10 Spielberg for me. It's just so cool. It's like, and it doesn't really. It feels like Spielberg in some ways, but in some ways it feels like it's David Fincher or Ridley Scott at their best.
Right. Yeah.
But definitely has some Spielberg touches that we'll get into. But yeah, I really dug it this time. And I think I always liked it, but I was like, I think it takes some time to really settle into, maybe for me at least.
Sure. Yeah. No, I really love like from the inciting incident on of the movie. Like watching it this time, it felt like the beginning of the movie is like almost packed too much with exposition because we have to explain a lot of things at the top.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Tell you what precogs are, tell you that John is a drug addict and that he lost his son, that there's this Whitford character, then there's also this old guy who's like run the thing for a long time. There's just a lot to get through that it feels a little clunky at the top of the movie. But like I feel like once you like introduce sort of like the not necessarily the red herring, it's the central mystery of the movie. Like once they introduce that on, like I feel like there's so many like wonderful like little Spielberg moments. Like there's some like nice like not necessarily like wonder scenes, but just like it kind of slows down at that point. Like there's a breakneck speed to this first like act of the movie where they're just like dumping like so much on you back to back to back to back. That it felt a little relentless this time watching it through for me. But
you know what it's a little bit like? It's a little bit like the beginning of Home Alone, which if you remember, we talked about how that movie has to set up so many dominoes, like right at the beginning, just for the rest of the movie to make sense. I think Home Alone does it a little better, but I think this movie is pretty. You get to see them just working like one case. And so you get all the information you need from that. But it is kind of insane how complicated it all is.
Right.
It's like we know the guy's name. We know the murderer's name, but we can't find out where he lives.
No. And it's also like weirdly like printed on like wooden balls of all things.
But that is amazing. And I love the justification for it, where it's like the wooden grain is unique to each one, and so you can't fake it and stuff like that. It's like, it's cool. I like that.
I'm all for it. Like it is, you know, the movie is aged a little bit in that sense that, you know, like there's like these plastic drives that they load stuff on and things, you know.
Right.
But I like the tactile version of this because it could have just been digital and it probably would have looked terrible.
I think, okay, here's my thing. I think that every like visual invention in this movie, as far as like how the technology works, how the world looks, all of that stuff, I think it's all spot on. I can't think of any like visual flourish of this movie that I dislike. Now, sometimes the CGI looks sort of 2002, especially if you're watching it in like HD or whatever. But a lot of it is also very practical because it's Spielberg, and he likes to balance the two very well. But everything from like the little pulse guns that they have to like spin around every time to reload them.
The six stick. I love those things.
The most terrifying freeway system ever conceived. The little spider guys, the people that go into the thing to like basically hallucinate their wildest fantasies, like all of that stuff is so good. And it's conceived so well. And I've never read any Philip K. Dick. Have you?
I've read a few, mostly short stories. I think I read the Blade Runner one and several other short stories, but not a whole bunch.
So I having never read any of his stuff, I can only imagine what his stuff is like based on the movies that have been adapted from it. But they all have a pretty consistent vibe to them, and this one fits in very well.
No, all the adaptation. His books are wildly different from some of the movies,
right?
Especially like Blade Runner, but they all have a very sort of, they're almost pessimistic, like they're very kind of drab, and everyone's very sad, and which this movie does have in spades in some ways. There's also like there's nice little Spielberg touches throughout that kind of like lighten the mood before it gets dark again. But yeah. This is such a weird, like, popcorn movie too. Like, it's such a strangely dark, dramatic movie to be released in like June for like popcorn audiences. Because it is, like, I remember when I first watched it, like, seeing trailers for it and TV spots and everything, and like they played all the action sequences and sort of like chase sequences, stuff like that. And really, all of those are done by like an hour in, and like the rest of the movie is more of like a detective movie than anything else.
Right.
So like all like the gun, like what we were talking about, like jetpacks and like those weird guns that propel you and everything, like those are all done in like almost one sequence, like one extended sequence, and like we never go back to any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Which
the
is
rest of the time
fascinating.
it's more like cat and mouse because he'll be
Right.
somewhere and like they'll send the little spiders in to try to find him, and he's got to hide in the
Mhm.
tub and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, it never gets boring. It always feels like there's like each like new sequence is like some new thing that we aren't just
Right.
like, it's not just like a shootout again, or it's not just like a chase again. Like Samantha Morton can kind of see the future, so like we do that thing where we're kind of like pausing and stopping and like hiding behind things that are just kind of interacting in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they took that idea and they made it into an entire movie called Next with Nicolas Cage, which
Nicolas Cage, yeah.
I think that's also a Philip K. Dick adaptation.
I believe you're right. I
I'm not
never read
sure.
that one.
That's the thing is like Philip K. Dick was having a moment in like the early to mid 2000s. And I think it's probably because of the Bush years and everybody
Yeah.
was worried about like surveillance and stuff like that.
Which this movie is pretty fortuitous, and you know it's pretty prophetic in some ways. Yeah.
But you have this movie and the movie Imposter, which I've never seen, but they're both Philip K. Dick
Is that Gary
adaptations. They came
Sinise?
out, yes, they came
Yes.
out in
Yeah.
2002. Then the next year you had Paycheck with Ben Affleck, which was
Yeah.
like the John Woo version of a Philip K. Dick adaptation, which is a really stupid, boring movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
Even though it's John Woo really lost it there at at some
Never
point.
really got it back. Yeah.
He never got it back. Yeah. And then, what was the other one? Oh, A Scanner Darkly came out around this time
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
which
With
is the
Scanner
weird
Darkly.
art film, adaptation of one of his stories.
So yeah, Philip K. Dick was, I guess, sort of dystopian sci-fi was having sort of a resurgence.
It was
around
having
this time.
it was a whole thing, yeah. And then
Which is-
Next is a few years out. I think Next is like 2007 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, like,
and then it kind of ended after Total Recall in 2012. That's the end of the Philip K. Dick adaptation era.
he'll come back.
Yeah.
He probably always does. I mean, they were trying to option a lot of his books for a long while. I read a book about Total Recall, and like he didn't want to do it simply because he had optioned some movie before and like they'd messed it all up, and so he didn't want to do it. But he was so desperate for money that times they did it, and then like he just completely disowned the movie, like hated it, and he died before it ever was released. But just like talked mad shit on like Ridley Scott, and like it was a whole thing. Like he like signed this non-disclosure agreement, but then went on to talk mess about everybody like in the media and stuff. It was just a nightmare. And so from then on, like I think his estate like held the strings pretty close of like what was going to get released and everything. So it probably took decades for like any of these movies to finally start like getting. Although I guess he wrote Total Recall, so that would have been like 90s.
Well, no, so I think he died in like 82, which is the same year Blade Runner came out.
Yeah.
And then, Total Recall is what, 5 years after that? But I
It
guess
would have been 90, yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay, 90. I thought it was like 87 for some reason. Yeah, 90, that sounds right. So like 8 years later. And then you don't see much in the 90s until you get to the early 2000s, and everybody's wanting to do Philip K. Dick novels now. So
I mean, it's all this like sort of post probably 9/11. Like we were.
It really is. This movie is such a post 9/11 movie because Spielberg just, I don't know. I guess that day really, I mean, it affected us all very deeply, I think. But Spielberg, it really starts showing up in his work between this and War of the Worlds, and then what's the other one? Oh shoot! What am I thinking? Munich, of course.
Munich, yeah.
That's the real, yeah. This is also a 2-for year for Spielberg, 2002.
What was the other one in 2002?
Catch Me If You Can came out later the year.
Oh, which is
Minority Report was the big summer blockbuster, and then Catch Me If You Can was like more the awards, bait kind of thing at the end of the year.
Which that is definitely a more like lighthearted awards sort of like catch for him, because usually they're pretty hard dramas. about
but
terrible atrocities in history. Like this is sort of
right.
it's historical, but it's also really lighthearted. Like he had a pretty good year. Like both those movies are
Yeah, but
pretty
it's such a
great.
character piece too, because like it
Sure.
really leans on the performances of the main two, and then Christopher
Mhm.
Walken to a certain extent as well.
Yeah.
But this one came out in the summer. This was the big one,
Mhm.
and it was successful, but it wasn't
It's
like a huge,
successful
huge
enough.
hit. It
Yeah.
was like the 10th highest grossing movie of the year, but it
Yeah.
had a
It
big
made its
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they spent $100 million on it. I think some people like waived their fees. I think Tom Cruise and Spielberg waived their fees to keep it under $100 million.
Oh, that's cool.
So that because it was like it was kind of a risk around that time to do,
Yeah.
spend $100 million on like a pretty dark sci-fi movie,
Right.
And so like they try to keep the budget down. I get it. It made like 137 million in the US, and then it made I think like maybe 200 300 million like worldwide. So it
Yeah,
was fairly
something like that.
successful. But it isn't one of like Spielberg's like biggest grossing movies.
No. But I guess we should talk about the cast a little bit because it's such an
Sure.
interesting collection of actors.
Yeah. I mean,
And
you've
this
got
was
Tom Cruise coming off of like Magnolia, right?
yeah, and Eyes Wide Shut. Well, of course, he
Mhm.
spent years filming Eyes Wide Shut,
Yeah.
and then I guess he did Magnolia after that.
Mm-hmm.
But then what was he? Oh, like Mission Impossible 2.
Well, too. Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
and
Tom
so
Cruise. He's one of the ones. He is sort of like Spielberg in that way, where he'll do like sort of like a big sort of dramatic movie or one that's more
yeah,
art housey, and then do like big sort of studio blockbuster sort of things.
hmm I mean, he used to be that way because I think the movie that of his that came out probably right before this would be in Vanilla Sky.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because I think that was 2001. So that's him in like
Mhm.
super artsy mode with
Mhm.
Cameron Crowe, reuniting with Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to do a Spielberg movie. I've never done one of those. I've worked with De Palma. I've worked with
Mhm.
Scorsese. I've worked with Coppola. And now it's time to work with Spielberg. And this is what they landed on. And
My nose for it.
it's perfect for Tom Cruise
Oh yeah.
because he loves nothing more than getting chased.
Loves running. It's written into his contract. Someone told me that once. I don't know if it's true or not, but like
It wouldn't
basically
surprise me at all.
he has to run at least one time in every movie. And I think it's true. The only ones I can think of that he doesn't run in, or maybe the Top Gun movies. Maybe he doesn't run in those movies, but he may. No, he does. He definitely runs in the newest one. So he runs in everything.
I wonder what his Iñárritu movie is going to be like.
Nothing but
Digger
running.
with a shovel over his shoulder. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested to see that. I don't know.
I have no idea what that movie is going to be.
I don't either.
Because Iñárritu in and of himself is like, I don't know what you're going to do, man. You're going to do something wild, though.
Something. Just always something.
And
Whether
then
I like it or not. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But anyway, then you got Colin Farrell in this movie. And this is like
Mhm.
early
Maybe.
Colin Farrell.
Babyface Colin Farrell. Yeah, like he's like 20 something in this movie. Like he's just off like Tigerland, I think was maybe the movie.
Tigerland, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the next year is when he makes Phone Booth. And I feel like that was kind of the movie where people really started to notice him. Even though it wasn't a big movie, he
Sure.
was so good in it.
He's the lead. He's like he'd been sort of
Yeah.
like supporting roles or like part of an ensemble before this. And so like that was like his first movie to like break out.
Yeah, and then the thing about Phone Booth is he's not just the lead, he's almost the only character you see.
Yeah.
Because people are like outside the phone booth, but the whole movie is focused on him. He's in almost every shot.
Mhm.
Like he's carrying the movie. So, but I've always liked him.
Same.
He's I think he had a bad reputation at the beginning because people didn't necessarily know what to do with him, and they'd put him in stuff like Daredevil, where he's great, but that movie's not good.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think he had a reputation of like a little hard partying too that people were turned off by, that sort of soured him
Yeah.
off on people, but he's in his 20s.
He was young, yeah. And that's the kind of reputation a lot of young actors get.
Mhm.
Because they do that stuff. And I'm not excusing it or anything. I'm just
No,
saying it's just uh, that's just what happens to a lot of these people. Fortunately, Colin Farrell seems to have calmed down
yeah,
later in
Oscar
life.
nominee. Yeah, Oscar nominee now. Like
Yeah.
he's really good in Banshees of Inisherin too. So
hmm Well, it's because he sort of figured out the same thing that Johnny Depp figured out many years before. Is like, I
mhm.
might be very handsome, but I am a character actor.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm here to go over the top and be weird in
Mhm.
movies. And so it's like, yeah, I'll play the penguin. Uh, I don't look anything like the penguin, but I'll play him and I'll be awesome at it.
Lather me in prosthetics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really like him in this movie though,
I do too.
because you're supposed to be suspicious of him, but
Mhm.
actually he's one of the most straight shooting, like moral characters in the
Mhm.
whole story.
Yeah,
It's a-
and strangely, he is almost there as like an audience surrogate too, which is weird to like sort of like make your audience mistrust him at the top because he's there
right,
for like people just to explain things to at certain times. Or like,
right.
this is what it is. We don't go in there because of this, all those sort of things. But he does a really good job. Like, I don't trust him from the top, and I don't know why I don't trust him, other than he's just the guy coming in from the outside. Like, that is the
Well,
only thing wrong with
exactly. And Tom Cruise is the main character, and like Tom Cruise has conditioned you to trust his characters at this
yeah,
point. Not always, he still plays Frank T.J. Mackey every once in a while,
sure.
but
But this one, he's like he's a wounded hero. You know what I mean? Like, he lost his son.
mhm,
He's gone through hard times. Like,
right,
we get to know him more than we do sort of like Colin Farrell or really any of the other characters in the movie.
yeah,
Um, Like, he is probably the most fleshed out of all of them, and so like from the start, where we were just like, oh, this guy's hurting. Clearly he's our lead. He's got it together, and he wants to stop crime. He wants to stop murders because his son got kidnapped. Like, I get him.
yeah,
I understand him.
yeah. It's always interesting to have like a true believer kind of character.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which Tom Cruise, he does that really well, but he'll show up in something like Edge of Tomorrow, where he's the most cynical, like, but he
And
has to
like
become a true believer by the
incapable.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which
And this
underrated.
is almost, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Edge of Tomorrow, underrated. It's
Oh,
it's
it's really
solid.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good. But in this movie, he's kind of having the opposite arc. Like, he's the true believer at the beginning who's
Hmm.
become wholly cynical by the end because
Right.
he's just been absolutely betrayed by the system that he's sworn to uphold.
Hmm. The system that
Which
he fully believed in, that he gave 6 years of his life to.
which brings us to Max von Sydow, absolute legend. It is what a career, because like, dude, when he was in his 30s, he was like Ingmar Bergman's guy.
Hmm.
He was in so many of those, The Magician and
Seventh Seal.
Hour of the Wolf and
Wolf.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Virgin Spring. That's my favorite one. Is Virgin Spring.
Those are cool.
And then he shows up playing like way older than himself in The Exorcist, because he was like in his 40s
Yeah.
when that movie came out, and he's playing like an old guy, and so everybody just thinks he's an old guy at this point. And he just keeps showing up in movies as an old guy for the
Mhm.
next 50 years.
Yeah. Until he became an
Um,
old guy. Until he actually
right.
became an old person. Yeah.
And but he would always show up in stuff like this later in his career. He would show
Mhm.
up in this, and he'd show up in like the Ridley Scott Robin Hood movie, where he's really good in an
Uh-huh.
otherwise forgettable film.
Uh-huh.
He was in a Star War.
Oh, he was. Yeah. No, he would always show up in
Very
like
briefly.
yeah. He's always like itty bitty sort of parts, or like really small like character parts. Like, he wasn't like anchoring a movie, but like he would always pop up. You'd always see him like
And steal the movie.
yeah, 100%.
His presence is just so powerful. And I was thinking about it. So he has a line in this movie, his character rather, where he says something about like, I'm from a generation that nobody listens to anymore or whatever. which got me thinking, because this movie's set in 2054. So I did the math. If he's the same age as Max von Sydow was when the movie came out, he would have been 73, which means that Lamar Burgess was born in 1981, making him an elder millennial.
Oh no!
A generation nobody pays attention to or listens to.
Yep.
So I thought that was funny. I love stuff like that in movies.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, no, this movie is 28 years from now, where we're sitting. So yeah, I guess that would make us Max von Sydow in this movie.
Yeah, we'd be close to his age. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Old people in the future are going to be funny. I remember there was a comedian years ago, and he did a whole bit on like, can you realize that in the future you're going to have old people like listening to rap music and just swearing all the time, just saying fuck like constantly.
All of these saggy tattoos and piercings. It'd be great. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, who else we got? So do you want to talk about Neil McDonough or Samantha Morton?
I feel like let's talk through Neil McDonough real quick, because I feel like Samantha Morton is like they hold her back until like the end of the real like almost like second half of the movie, but his character disappears in the second half of the movie, but
he does.
He was such like a presence during this time, especially after this movie. Like I feel like he went on to like do a lot of like I guess smaller just like character actor bits and like B movies and whatnot, but I feel like his career really flourished after this.
Yeah, but he's always playing like a soldier or a cop or something like that. And of course, I don't know if you follow Neil McDonough at all these days, but he's kind of become like a kind of a sour grapes actor.
Oh no.
But I can sort of understand it, but at the same time I'm like, dude, you brought this on yourself, because his whole thing, like he's very devoutly like Catholic or something.
Yeah.
And so he would get, offers for parts, but they would want him to like do like a kissing scene or something with another, and he wouldn't do it. He's like, I'm not gonna kiss anybody but my own wife, not even for a part. Which I can understand, like if you have a very strict moral conviction over that, but it's like, but now he's like, and now nobody will hire me. Like, okay.
Well,
I don't know. I like him. I always like him and stuff.
No, I do too. And he still pops up. I think he's on like that Sylvester Stallone TV show now, like the one about Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's on that. So he still gets work. He's just it's just not as prevalent as he once was in the early 2000s. I mean, when he was in the Captain America movie. He's always like popping up, like you said, as sort of like a military man or a cop or something like that.
Yeah. He's just such a striking person to look at because of that hair and those eyes.
Hair and eyes, that combination of those two.
It's wild to look at that guy. And then you got Samantha Morton.
Yeah.
Who she was having a year too. 2002 was a big year for her because she had this movie, and then she had. Did you ever see In America?
Is that the Sheridan movie?
It's Jim Sheridan movie.
Jim Sheridan, yeah.
Yeah, so an Irish family just moves to New York, and the dad is like a struggling actor. He's trying to break through on Broadway and stuff like that. And it's Paddy Considine plays the dad. And Jaimin Hansu plays their neighbor, but Samantha Morton is the real emotional center of the movie, and she's terrific. And that came out just a few months after this one. And they're very different performances, of course, but you can tell she shot In America after this because she still has very short hair in that movie. Yeah, it's not shaved, but it's very short.
No, I've always and this was, I mean, she's been popping around for a while now, but like I feel like she was really big around this time, early 2000s. And it just kind of not necessarily disappeared. She just kind of like, I think she took a break at some point. And I don't remember why. I remember reading it at some point, but I can't remember what it was that she took a break. Why she took a break? I think there was some accident on a set somewhere, and like it like hurt her back, and like There's all this whole thing. I can't remember what the movie was, but she was in like Iceland or something like that. And like part of the ceiling fell down and like hit her, of all things.
Oh wow.
But I've always liked Samantha Morton. Like in this movie, the one thing I always remember from this movie is like her yelling "run." It like hits at such like a weird timbre, and it's just like it echoes in like the back of my head. I don't know,
because she's like
it.
whispering right before that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, she modulates her performance so well in this movie because like you never doubt for a second that she is this frail, like vulnerable human who's been kept in a tank for basically her whole life.
Yeah.
Just the way she holds on to Tom Cruise and just sort of slinks alongside him. And then she has these moments of remarkable lucidity.
Yeah.
It's just, and she carries so much in her eyes throughout the whole thing. Like they go into the place and they meet that one guy, and Tom Cruise is like, she's a precog. And he's like, no, you didn't bring a precog here. And he just looks in her eyes and sees the way she's looking at him. And he like gets on his knees, like he bows and grovels.
It's just like, I'm so sorry for all those things. Yeah.
All the things I've done, all the things I'm going to do. Which is a very Spielberg kind of touch to the scene.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of those sort of like Spielberg touches, especially in sort of like second half of the movie. Like from the time like the chase sort of starts, like there's a lot of those sort of like in the chase where they fly through the window and like there's a kid playing saxophone on his bed and like the family having dinner.
Yeah. And like setting the food on fire, and the woman's swinging something. I can't remember if it's a broom or something. She's just like, get out, trying to shoo them away. And it's like the John Williams adventure score is playing, and it feels like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, except they have jetpacks and pulse cannons and stuff.
No, all that stuff is all super fun. Like all of the stuff, like all the little comedy bits, like help really like sort of like alleviate some of like the darkness from this movie, like later in the second half. So like him eating like the rotten sandwich and like dropping the eyeball and having to chase it. Like all those things like are like wonderful.
You never expect to see a movie where a person has to chase their own eyeballs while they're rolling down a hallway towards a grate.
Catching it by a string.
I've never seen that in a movie.
Never seen it before. Never seen it since or before. So
yeah. And then there is no reason to have that sandwich gag in the movie other than Steven Spielberg has a very juvenile sense of humor. He's like, what if there's such a gross thing and he eats it because he doesn't know that it's gross?
Yeah. No, and that's like the second half, like when those scenes set up, these sort of like longer scenes that are like building basically like a set piece where like you've set it up that like Tom Cruise is going to be blind and he can't see, and like what all can we throw at him that he may not expect, you know, like, oh, people are gonna come in the building now, there's spiders, oh, we're gonna eat a rotten sandwich, oh, he's gonna hide in like ice and all those sort of things. I love all the second.
And then after he eats the rotten sandwich, he's trying to wash it down and he accidentally grabs the rotten green milk because he knocks the good milk over.
And even more gross than that, he grabs like a tub that's filled with ice, is where like they kept like the body parts, like it's got like symbols on it that's like
it's got medical a biohazard grade.
Yeah. Just down in that water. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Spielberg, you're such a kook.
Such a kid at heart.
And you know he's having the most fun ever saying, and we're gonna
now drink the biohazard water.
That's kind of like what I heard another podcaster once say about Martin Scorsese. And he's like, he didn't rig up that guy's eye to pop out in a vice grip in Casino because he didn't want you to laugh.
True.
Okay. What else about Minority Report? Here, you carry it for a while. I've been talking a lot.
there's a lot of references to sort of noir, and particularly sort of like crime dramas, like the books like Dashiell Hammett. Like I think all of the precogs are named after like crime novelists from like the
So it'd
20s
be
and
Arthur
30s.
Conan Doyle, Dashiell
Mhm.
Hammett, and Agatha Christie.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of references to that. The movie itself is like basically a mystery. Although they play some of the greatest hits of, of these type of movies where it's like a person's like is telling them, like, oh, I'll look into that. I didn't know. I will look into any drownings. He's like, I didn't tell you he would drown. She drowned. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like some of them, you kind of have to like go, okay, they've played this key in many movies before now, but it works really well in this movie. Most of the mystery elements, although not particularly like complex, all work pretty well. Like all of the pieces are there to help you follow it. Which is sort of goes back to that sort of like clunky first half. Like they set up all like the echo and all that sort of stuff in that first half. They breeze past it pretty quickly, but like it's all there. And so for a movie, it's sort of like densely like complex as far as like how everything works, like how the future works, how these psychics work for the like all of the pieces like make sense. I guess if they had a more complex mystery at the center of it, then it would be a little harder to follow. I don't know. I do struggle a little bit with like Max von Sydow's sort of like why he because it was just was it just because John was getting close to the Agatha's like birth mom's murder, and that's the reason he like framed him?
That's the implication.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it feels like that would still have been very easy to cover up without framing John, and I feel like framing John actually helps it get uncovered.
Right, yeah.
So
but I mean,
he's sort of he's his own worst enemy by the end of the movie.
And I don't quite believe he would shoot himself in the end. But I do think it's a lighter ending than it could have been.
My main gripe with this movie is the ending.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think he would have shot John. If he is a true believer and like all he wants is his legacy of this pre-crime to keep going, he would have shot John Anderton. You know what I mean? Like him shooting himself, like nothing John says to him on that balcony would have changed his mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think here's the ending I would have gone with is yes, he shoots John, ends up actually going into the Halo prison, which we got to talk about the Halo prison.
Oh yeah,
amazing. And then the precogs still get liberated by the end. But I think it just got the death backwards. It should have been John that died, tearing down the system that he swore to protect.
Yeah. But then you don't end up with Tom Cruise getting back with his wife, and you don't end up with the happy ending.
I hate that part. It's like they don't get back together and have a happy ending where she's still like she's pregnant again and they're gonna have another child. No, I don't buy that. I love what happens with the precogs because you do not want them to stay in this tank for the rest of their life. But John Anderton's ending, I think, is some bullshit.
Yeah, the ending is it's like almost there. They're like one step away from like it being pretty perfect. And really like that's how like probably Philip. I haven't read the original Philip K. Dick novel, but I'm pretty sure it probably ends very dark and like pretty sure John probably dies. Like he has to make that choice. Or he has to make the choice. Probably honestly, probably the book ends where like he has to make the choice to kill Leo Crow or not. And he does it because he wants to keep the system going. Like that's probably how Burgess should have ended his too. But minor quibbles, I guess. I have some minor quibbles with this movie, but nothing major.
Leo Crow, that is some weird casting because that is, comedian, writer, director Mike Binder.
Is it? I didn't know that. I knew he looked familiar. I couldn't place who he was.
Yeah, it's Mike Binder, the guy that made like Blank Man and the Upside of Anger and Reign Over Me. I always like when directors get other directors to play small roles in their films.
Cameo.
But
And
Mike Binder is such a weird choice.
yeah,
I don't know.
he does. He does a good
maybe
job
Spielberg's
though.
a fan.
Yeah,
He is
maybe
really
so.
good. He's really
Yeah.
good in it. I think Mike Binder is probably best as an actor, better than he is at writing and directing. Even though I kind of like Reign Over Me, even though it's a preposterous movie.
Is that the post 9/11 Adam Sandler Don Cheadle?
It's Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like that movie just because it has a really good soundtrack, and I think Adam Sandler is really good in it, even though he's playing a character that's ridiculous. And it's really digging into that 9/11 wound a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Blank Man. Not gonna lie, but
I have never seen Blank Man. I wanted to see it so bad when I was a kid.
It's not a great
movie. Never got around to it. So
it's not a great movie, but I have a soft spot for it. I kind of love because it's Marlon Wayans is sort of the like the super nerd, and like David Hyde Pierce is sort of like his like brother guardian who's trying to take care of him, and they accidentally become superheroes. And he has a robot that's called J5, and it's kind of amazing. It's not great.
Okay.
But
I did not picture any of this being in the movie.
Yeah,
I was just seeing the cover, like him in that yellow costume with his like weird utility belt, but I didn't know he had like a robot, and that David Hyde Pierce was a different superhero in the movie.
Oh no, wait, not David Hyde Pierce. David Alan Grier. Sorry, I meant.
Oh, David Alan Grier. Okay, that's a very different David
movie,
with 3 names.
It would be really weird with David Hyde Pierce, though.
Yeah, I was like, his brother guardian. What? That's an odd pairing. Would be.
I would watch the movie. That movie would probably be really good.
Oh, the movie where David Hyde Pierce and Marlon Wayans play brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would absolutely watch that. That sounds great.
Sign me up. But yeah, the Halo system. Do we want to talk about that before? Or
my gosh, it's so cool. Like I said, every visual like conception in this movie just works for me. And so when they stand on that little sort of pier thing and it's moving through, and all the cell pods are like raising and lowering, and you just see all those people just trapped in there inside their own minds, basically. Oh, that's so great.
I love it. It's a wonderful visual. I love the strange character that's around it too. Like it's Tim Blake Nelson.
It's Tim Blake Nelson who we established is always the best part of anything that he's in.
And like his introduction scene is so weird because they set him up where he's playing the organ. He's like, they like the music, and then every little beat he goes to, he's like, now he's making food. Now he's doing like something else. It just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. I love it. It's so good.
And it doesn't seem like anybody else works down there. It's just
he's
him.
the only person.
Like, does he sleep there? Does he ever leave? I mean, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does because he eats down there, and that's where he lives. Amazing.
And it's sort of a Coen Brothers free for all here, because you also have Peter Stormare show up in this movie.
Oh yeah,
another collaborator of the Coens, playing one of his weirdest, creepiest characters, which is a high bar to clear for Peter Stormare.
Oh yeah, and it's just like a wonderfully weird scene because basically you incapacitate Tom Cruise, and then you set up that like he's the one that put him in prison, and so like you build this sort of like weird tension. There's a lot of like one shots in it, and then he like puts on that like mask on him that's very reminiscent of like Clockwork Orange, and like I don't know. I love all the middle of the movie, like all those like little set pieces that build on each other. Like it's great.
But you also find out the reason he was in prison is because he was like setting women on fire,
like during surgery. Yeah.
And I'm like, they were already burned. What were you doing? I'm so confused by that character.
So strange. And also doesn't make sense to why he would be like, but I'm really going to help you because you helped me turn my life around or something. Like by the end of the conversation, when he's finally like, I'm really going to fix your eyes. Like
Yeah.
I don't quite understand why he's doing it.
Which he does fix his eyes, but I felt like the implication was that he went and told the pre-crime unit where John was.
Oh, interesting.
I
Yeah,
I don't know, because he leaves and then all of a sudden pre-crime shows up at that building and they're using the little spiders to scan
true.
everybody.
Sure. He does give him that drug, like, so he'll just pass out, And so,
Yeah.
maybe he did go call. I always thought it was like they're just scanning every sort of lower income sort of like housing to see if he find him where he's hiding. But I never considered that Peter Stormare called him on him.
I mean, it's not explicitly said. That's just the sort of
The
dot
vibe.
I connected.
Yeah.
I might have missed something though. They might have found that building some other way.
I don't know.
Trying to think what else. We do need to talk about the horrible transport in this movie. Just the cars like coming off the sides of buildings and like clinging to the side.
God bless. Yeah. Doesn't
What
even quite make sense. Like you wouldn't be able to sit in your car like that. You would just like smash against the window, unless you're like.
I think
I
think
guess.
the implication is that the seats rotate inside the car
I guess
whenever
so.
but I don't know. It's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying that you're just in this self-driving car and it's weaving in and out of traffic, and then all of a sudden you are plummeting straight down the side of a building and into even more, and you're still weaving in and out of traffic.
Mm-hmm. It's such like a crazy interstate. Like who designed this city?
An absolute psychopath is the only explanation.
And everyone just goes along with it. They're just like, I don't have to drive it. It's self-driving. Crazy. It's craziness.
But it works. It really it sets up a really cool set piece where he's like jumping on. It's sort of like watching somebody play a video game.
Yeah.
Gotta.
But it also
like Mario Brothers.
And those like little Spielberg touches, it ends in like a joke. He like jumps through a window and like lands in a weird position, and so it turns out to be like a yoga class. So like there's all those like weirdly lighthearted touches in this movie.
I'm trying to figure out if like there's anything like deeper about this movie that we can actually talk about. And I'm not sure there is. I feel like everything is kind of on the surface of this movie.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, this time through watching, I definitely noticed a lot of like the vision and eyes and like, Justice is Blind, all that sort of stuff is like very heavy in like the first like half of the movie, and really up and through like his eyes getting changed out. But they'd never really do anything with it other than just like mention it, you know what I mean? Like what you were saying, it's all pretty surface level sort of stuff. The moral implications of it, of like knowing your own destiny and like being able to choose, would you still choose to kill this man or would you not, even though, you know what he's done? You know what I mean? Like it does pose some like pretty interesting philosophical questions. Doesn't do a lot with them other than maybe the Leo Crow one. Especially near the end, like we talked about the Burgess thing, but yeah, like they repose that same question they did to Crow. And like they ultimately fumble it at the finish line. But there's just little nuggets in there. It's not super deep. It's a popcorn movie, but
it really is.
It's fun.
It is interesting, like that this entire like pre-crime system is basically built around a human rights violation. We're just gonna take these psychic kids and put them in a tank with like neuro milk or whatever they call it, and pump them full of drugs to keep them like sedated but also awake. And then we're just gonna read their minds for years and years. It's wild that this is ever approved by anybody.
Yeah, I mean, they basically say earlier in the movie, "That's like it's best just not to think of them as human, even though they clearly are like humans."
So that's the one thing that gives the ending like some power for me is, the whole time during that closing montage, I'm not really invested until it gets to the precogs, just like sitting and reading in the peaceful cottage, and then I'm just like, oh my god, thank you
Yeah.
for
Really,
letting
that
these people out of that awful tank.
that could have been just the ending. Like all you needed was Tom Cruise standing in front of a window. We just imply that life goes on for him. He doesn't get his eyes back because
Right.
he lost at least one of them down a drain.
Yeah.
And then you just cut to the precogs living their best life in like this warm glow, reading books. And I'd been happy with that ending. But yeah, him getting back with his wife and like them having another kid. Ugh.
The eye thing, though, okay. The reason he wants to keep his real eyes is because he needs them to use on the retinal scanners back at
Sure.
the pre-crime office to get back in. Why is he still in the system?
I've always wondered
They're all chasing him. Like that is the worst like clerical error in the history of movies is the fact that he can still get back in with his retinal scan. He's like number one fugitive. Maybe they feel like he'll come back, that he'll want to come back and sneak in, and so that'll be an easy way to catch him. But that seems silly. I don't think they're not playing 4D chess here.
No. Yeah, they are just chasing him, and then he just somehow can get back in. Really, he probably should have tried to steal someone else's eye. Like he should have gotten someone else, like I don't know, an evidence locker with like an old eye. I don't know. There should have been something else, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense for him to still be in the system.
Maybe he kidnaps Neil McDonough and steals his eyes, and it's like, now I have the most beautiful eyes, and I'm gonna be able to get in. I mean, I would do that if I had the opportunity to like take Neil McDonough's eyes and put them in my head. I would absolutely 100% do it. All right, what else?
I don't know. Is there anything else to talk about Minority Report? I feel like we hit all the high points.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a shorter episode, I guess, but I feel like this movie, as much as I really like it and as much as I think it's just super rad, I don't come away from it like really with stuff to think about or talk about. Like, and I do often with Spielberg. Like, I think something like AI, we could have like an epic conversation about AI.
Oh, yeah.
Or even something like Lincoln. I think there's a lot to talk about with that. This one, even though I would put it up in the upper tier of Spielberg, it's just I just love it formally, I guess, more than anything else.
Just it's a fun sort of popcorn chase movie, that has mystery elements to it and a little bit of like moral philosophy, barely like sprinkled on top, just the lightest dusting of it. But yeah, emotionally, I don't really get anything from this movie like some other Spielberg movies. It doesn't hit me in the feels like E.T. does, sort of thing.
Right.
And I don't think that's what they set out to do. And so for that, I think it's successful in what it is. But yeah, it's not super deep. It's about as deep as it's a surface level sort of movie.
I will say this movie is the most Janusz Kaminski movie ever made. It is. Because he started working with him, around like 91? Because I think Schindler's List was the first thing he shot with Janusz Kaminski. And then all through the 90s, it was pretty much business as usual with Spielberg. But it gets more and more, everything gets more and more backlit. Visual style for Spielberg. Time you hit this movie, which is 4 years after Ryan. Like it is 100% the movie. Like everything is so washed out and so backlit, and it works really well for the kind of cyberpunk noir vibe that the whole movie has.
But it's sort of like bleak, you're cold, and
this is the movie where he really lets Janusz off the hook. He's like, go nuts, man. Do it.
He's just like, I'm gonna bleach every frame.
I love Janusz Kaminski, by the way. I'm not making fun of him. I think he's a brilliant visual stylist, but he has a thing, very much a thing.
Yes,
and it's gorgeous, but sometimes it's weird.
Yeah, and this influenced a lot of movies around that time. I remember this became sort of like the standard look around this time of this sort of like super desaturated, very very cold and gritty sort of.
Yeah, but
You know,
nobody else pulls it off the way that they
no,
do,
no, no.
that Spielberg
It
and
always looks,
Kaminsky do.
yeah.
And I think it's because the way that he actually, because I guess Spielberg still shoots on film, right? I'm pretty
I
sure
don't know.
he's
I
one of.
don't know if the last
I'm pretty sure he's
few.
one of the last guys that still, at least mostly shoots on film. And
Mhm.
so Kaminsky's actually doing that to the film stock. He's not just
Yeah,
putting a digital filter on it. Like
yeah,
he is actually playing with a physical film stock there,
yeah. No, yeah. They
and
bleached. I
and it's
remember reading
incredible.
about this. Yeah, they bleached like the negative in this movie to sort of like get that sort of like watered, like hazy sort of look to it.
Yeah, and it looks so good. So
It's great. Movies of visual
anyway,
triumph. Yeah.
all right, all right. You want to do favorite part and least favorite part?
Yeah. I'll do favorite part, least favorite
Okay.
part. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Favorite part, Samantha Morton's scream. Her yelling run.
Run!
So
It's
so good.
amazing. And I think it was in the trailer too, because it's such a trailer moment.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't remember seeing it in the trailer. I remember seeing it in the theater. And it being such like startling and like 'cause it does that like it's her yell and then it pulls back out of the house and we were like pulling back to reveal that the copters are coming and it's like so good. Chilling. Really
Yeah,
good stuff.
it's
Least favorite
really
part.
straight out of a horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Very
Yeah, yeah.
horror
No.
movie
I
coded.
feel
Yeah.
like it got used that same sort of technique got used so much right after this movie.
Samantha
Like I
Morton
remember
should have a
seeing it.
career in horror. She should be like another Toni Collette type,
Oh, she really
because
should. She's done
she'd be
some.
really good at it.
Yeah. I think she had done some, but I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's in
Least favorite
Synecdoche,
part.
New York, which is
She is in Semantic.
kind of a frightening movie at times.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe she just likes to hint around the edges. Least favorite part, the beginning of the movie to me is like a little clunky. Like it feels like we're going through things so fast, like there's almost no grace to it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think works for like the opening sort of like chase, where we're sort of like setting up with precog gigs and everything after that. But everything after that like feels so like we have to hit these beats and we have to keep moving because we're already like 40 minutes in. We haven't like started the movie. You know what I mean? That's my minor quibble with the movie is that it starts out like probably a little too hard and heavy. Like it really feels more like a Spielberg movie. Like once it actually gets going and like sort of we're living in these sort of like set pieces. We're sort of building place for them. But they got to get through all of it. I get it. I don't know that and probably the end, the beginning and the end are like are my least favorite parts of this movie. What about you? What's your favorite least favorite part?
Well, first of all, I just remembered something about Samantha Morton that's really interesting. Did you know that she was originally the AI voice in the movie Her?
I did. I'd heard that, and then like in post,
She was
they got rid
she
of
was
her.
on set every day reading the lines,
That's crazy.
acting with Joaquin Phoenix from like off
Uh-huh.
camera. And for some reason they just decided they wanted a different sound. And so they scrapped all of her performance and redubbed it with Scarlett Johansson.
That's crazy to me to like go.
It is
through a
wild.
process like that. Yeah, and then just be like, nah, we're not going to use you.
But it's like I really want to see the version of that movie with Samantha Morton's performance.
Yeah,
Because
they
she's
have it
got
all.
such a different kind of like very vulnerable kind of voice, whereas Scarlett Johansson seems very confident all the time. Anyway, favorite part. That's tough, man. You know what? I'm gonna pick something we haven't even mentioned yet, and I feel bad.
Okay.
I love the scene with Lois Smith as like the woman that invented or called invented the pre-crime unit, because she was basically just a mad scientist trying to figure out what was going on with these kids
Yeah.
and accidentally invented this whole like technology that would allow them to stop murders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She's just one of those actors I just always love when she shows up, because she always shows up for like one scene in a movie or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And she's always playing a kooky old lady. And she's always just so wonderful to watch, because she's just doing exposition the whole time.
Sure.
But I think her performance is just lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she's really modulating this character who regrets everything that she's done, but she's like, well, I can't do anything about it now. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna tend to my weird little garden.
Yeah, of
Plants that
sentient
are-
like plants. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That scene, it's kind of like right in the middle of the movie almost.
Mhm.
And I just love it. The movie kind of stops for a second, but
Yeah.
it's so weird and ethereal. Anyway, least favorite part. Yeah, I gotta go with what I've been saying the whole time. Like Tom Cruise's damn pregnant wife in for one shot at the end of the movie is stupid and bullshit, and I just don't buy it. That's not what happened. If you cut that one shot out of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
like it probably goes up half a star.
Okay.
But I don't know. That's how much I really hated that one shot.
And it's unnecessary. Like it doesn't
It is.
do anything for
It's
like me emotionally. Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like at the end of Face Off, where John Travolta shows back up at home and he's got his face back. And then he's like, oh, and we're also going to raise this boy as a replacement for our son that Nicolas Cage killed.
All that pain I had throughout the movie about losing my kid doesn't matter now. We're getting a new one.
Now we're gonna raise the son of the man who killed my son. He's gonna be our new son. Cool. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to rating. What would you give this movie out of 10?
This is a solid 8 for me. Minor quibbles aside, it would probably go up a little higher if the end made a little more sense, you know, like for the characters themselves. But it's solid 8. I would rank it higher, like visually and like music, visual effects, aesthetically, production design, everything, like solid 10 around. But like there's a few like story beats and like character choices I'm like, that doesn't quite make sense. So an 8, I would say an 8.
I would also give it an 8, which is going to make rating it easy. We give it an 8 at Horror Sci-Fi and Beyond. We give this movie an 8 out of 10. I will say, it's funny, we just talked about this movie for like an hour, and we didn't even talk about the plot at all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It
almost doesn't matter. Yeah.
Kind of. But yeah, we didn't talk about like anything that had to do with like the actual murders or
I mean, the whole movie, the basic driving force for most of the movie is just a red herring. Like none of that stuff really matters in the end of it. You know, the real mystery is Agatha, which they set up like right before. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Anyway, cool movie. Everyone should watch it. If you've listened to this episode and you haven't seen it, I guess we haven't really spoiled that much.
Well, we gave away the ending. Like we
gave away the ending, but we didn't give away anything in the middle.
Yeah. Go enjoy it. It's like 2 hours and it's kind of long. It's like 2 hours and 25 minutes, but
it's almost 2.5 hours long. Yeah. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you do the ending part? I don't like doing the ending.
I always forget how to do it, so I'm just going to wing my way through it. But I was going to ask, do you have a hypothetical for this episode?
I keep forgetting that we used to do those. We haven't done one in so long.
It's okay.
Let me think. Let me think. Give me just a second. No, I can't think of one.
It's fine.
I feel like that's better with 3 people anyway. So maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe for Disclosure Day, I'll do a hypothetical.
Yeah. We'll do 2. We'll do a Minority Report and a Disclosure Day. Tune back in to find out what it will be. So as always, this is Eric and Jackson with Horror Sci-Fi and Beyond. If you like what you heard in this past hour about us reviewing a 24-year-old movie, then you want to smash that subscribe button and hit those likes, and you want to subscribe to this channel because we're going to do a lot more of these reviews similar to this in the horror, sci-fi, and beyond vein. It's also a secret Spielberg podcast, so like you're going to hear Spielberg almost every episode. This one just happened to be one devoted completely to it. And again, next time up, hopefully we'll have Drew back with us. And until then, stay weird.
Stay weird.